All right, good morning. I hope everybody is doing well this morning. So today's going to be a little mental thinking. Let me get this over to YouTube. All right, so what is today? Is today the 14th? May 14th, 2025. Uh,
Yes.
and where is my screen? There it is, hidden by one of the monitors isn't working this morning, so everything gets hidden. All right. So I want you to think today. I'm going to say some words, and I want you to feel where those words show up in your body. We've been talking about the idea of shame for the last few days. And I want you to really think of this word and what does it show up in your body as? And the word is wealth. What's your initial reaction to the word wealth? What do you feel? Do you feel nothing? Do you feel something? Where do you feel it? The idea of wealth. What's the response that your shame body has? I don't have it. I don't belong. I feel excited. And if you're resisting the effort, if a part of you is resisting the steps, the action, the process, who's resisting that? What is the resistance? Wealth. If you can, if you're in a place, write the word down. What does it feel just before you start to write the word? Or what does it feel as you're writing the word? What are you hearing? Can't have it, need a break. What's the story? Just the word, nothing else. Wealth. How about the word debt? DEBT, debt. What do you feel when you hear that word, say that word, write that word? Debt. Does it change your body's frequency from wealth? Again, all I said was the words. I didn't say what they mean. There's not a definition. You're giving it the definition. This is how the body responds. We have a set of programming Wealth by itself, there's no interpretation to that. We, the listener, interpreted it. Get, wealth, freedom. The word freedom. How does your body respond when it hears the word freedom? Again, just hearing the word freedom. These give you an indication of how your body is wired. Sunset. Five a.m. Credit cards. Promises. Money. Bills. Happiness. Notice how your body's responding to each of these words. There's usually context that goes along with these words to help define the intention behind them. What's your story? How's your body responding? What is your intention for today? Scale of 1 to 100. 0 being most aggravating, frustrating day. 100 being the most joyous, profitable, productive, creative, all things good kind of day. Where are you at right now? And where do you want to get to? What's the action step, the thought process needed to raise your awareness or your intention or your attention to move up on that scale? It's your number. It's your scale. What can you do to raise your energy? Move into that new frequency, vibration. All this happens as you become aware. It is your responsibility, your ability to respond. One of the keys you'll find is that it requires you to move your body. Goal setting isn't just in your mind. Goal achievement isn't just in your mind, it's your body. When you visualize and it changes your state, it changes the way your body feels. That's neuro encoding. What's one of the most fun memories you have? Feel your body shift. Feel the vibration change. What is the joy in that moment that excites you? This is how we address our state. Move it to the next level. Raise it up. Like a little puppy or kitten that wakes up, doesn't know where it's at. Then it realizes it's you that's there, and it starts to get more excited. Little puppy starts to wiggle its butt, wag its tail. Its whole body starts to shake. It's so excited it can't control itself. What would it take for us to be that excited? What would it take for us to be that joyful with every moment? You leave a dog for 5 minutes and come back, and it's as if you left forever. How can you get so excited to come back to this moment and then this moment and meet yourself and work on yourself and fall more in love with yourself and avoid these stories that are told around our moments, around the things, the habits that happen in our life? Today is a day of the week. What's your story about this day? Is it the middle of the week? Some people work swing shift. It's the start of their week. Some people work night shift, day shift. We all have stories about it. The reality is, it's now. And shame is when we step out of the now. I'm not good enough. I'm not doing enough. You're in the now. In the now, all things happen. When you hear the word now, what comes into your mind? Now. What's the ultimate feeling of your now? Has your mind wandered? Have you started thinking about the things in your world? Who took your mind on a trip? Come back to the now. Come back to this moment. Scale of 1 to 100. What's your energy right now? All your success is your ability to influence your mind, to guide it, to have direction over it. 80,000 thoughts a day, 60,000 are repetitive. 5 minutes of focus isn't going to do a whole lot. It might give you an awareness that your mind loves to jump, loves to scatter, loves to be busy. It's not distracted. Distraction can only happen if you have traction. It's rare to find the mind that has traction. The ability to do deep work, stay focused, find a thought and carry it to an end. For men, the challenge is going deeper, getting emotional. For the female brain, it's connectivity. It's the ability, the need to stay safe, looking for all of the things that can create challenge, do harm. So it's difficult for both brains. If we understand that, this is where incantations come in. A repetitive statement over and over to create focus. I choose joy. I choose wealth. What would be a simple statement you would say? What would happen if you said, I choose joy because? What does your body do? I choose wealth because. Do you have a commitment? Do you have a story? Does it seem odd? Is there a delay? The thing you want, can you tell me why? And when I say me, it's anyone who would ask. Does shame show up? Well, because it would be nice. That's a shame statement. I would really like to be able to take care of so and so and such and such. I really don't want to have that. Those are shame statements. And shame because you're actually saying you should delay in your success. That it's okay to have some kind of form of punishment to not have your success. This is where desire comes in. The challenge with our desire, the challenge with a strong desire, is that it deals with strong shame. And because shame runs in the background 24/7, 365, it's hard to have desire for an hour a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. What would it mean? What would change in your world if you had intense focus on learning the new skills, acquiring the new knowledge, implementing the strategies necessary for your success? What would change if you could do that an hour a day, 2 hours a day? What would happen if today you started and never stopped growing? Wallace D. Wattles, not about doing certain things, about doing things in a certain way. And the thing that keeps you from doing them in a certain way is not knowledge, is not awareness, is not desire, it's shame. Nobody is keeping you down. Nobody is keeping you back. Nobody is telling you no. We are saying that all on our own. And like any addict, we have to admit we have it. And that is the biggest challenge. We say things like, I am my own worst enemy. I always do this to myself. It proves that someone else, something else, a vibration different than the desire, is keeping us stuck. And a way to shift that is to acknowledge it, fall in love with it, and decide to move on. Isn't that fascinating? And the first time we step away from our shame, everyone in our world notices. And they have pre-programmed ways to put you back in your place. So now it's just not you against you. It is the entire world against you. You'll see a social media post that makes you feel like you are not enough. You'll see an ad that says you're not enough unless you're using their product. You'll see people get recognition for a job or for success that you're better at, that you seem to be doing more work at. And over and over and over, you will begin to run the stories of your shame. until you can label. That's an old shame story. Wow, I have a lot of these. Isn't that fascinating? What's my success story? What's my evidence story? What's my joy story? What's my success story? This requires awareness. This requires focus to constantly, continuously remind yourself of your success, called your evidence file. Begin right now. What's something you've done well? And typically, in the 30 countries I've asked that question, the shame shows up and says, well, what do you mean, well? I haven't done my business well, or I haven't done relationships well, or what are you talking about, well? We have these definitions around well, around success, around joy, that it has to be something our brain typically goes to the opposite. And then we look to figure out, can I do that? Have I ever done that well? All at the speed of light. And we think of the things, the opposites of the word joy, success, happiness, peace, because we think it needs to be the big thing. Well, I promise you, when you graduated second grade, you were a hero to every first grader. You were a big thing, second grader. When you learn to walk, to write, to speak, think about how much programming, how much shaming was programmed into you before you even knew your name. It takes focus. It takes energy to rewrite your story. It takes daily commitment. This is the tortoise and the hare, tortoise and the rabbit. We go to events like a rabbit and we say, I'm going to break the rules. I'm going to break the success. I'm going to be the best. And the tortoise is still there at the same event going, yep, we're just going to keep on trudging, keep on trucking. And you get back on Monday and you're all excited, and the tortoise is still right there, slowly, step by step, inch by inch, and you're running and you're doing circles and you're doing flips and you're doing all of this stuff. And 60 days later, 30 days later, the tortoise is there. The credit card bill shows up. Somebody says, hey, how's your thing going? And the tortoise is there because we choose. That is a choice to not change our state. You have a choice from this moment on. What is it you want? What is it you really, really want? What is it you want for you? What's the word? Not the goal or the task or the title. What's the word you want? Tell me the because. I want the word blank because. Can you sell me on it? Can you sell yourself on your because? Is it inspirational or is it desperation? Most people set desperate goals instead of living inspirational dreams. It's your choice right now. What will you choose? Joy or misery? I can promise you, your goal is a lot closer if you choose the vibration of joy. This takes emotion. This takes energy. It takes effort. It takes intention to stay joyful. Bob Proctor said to me one time, you got to do the thing until you don't have to do the thing. You have to do the thing until you don't have to do it. What is your have to today, right now, that moves you to your want to? That moves you to your get to? Simply become aware. What is your frequency? What is the vibration you're at? Is this the vibration of your goal, of your dream? Is this how you'll feel at the arrival of your dream when your dream shows up, pulls up the driveway, and you look out the window and there's your dream? It's the $100,000 a year, or every 6 months, or 100,000 a month. It's the zero credit cards. It's the paid off, all debt paid off. That drives up in your driveway right now. Is this the vibration you feel? Have you been in that vibration at all this morning? Oh, when that happens, I'd feel like this. So the question then becomes, why not live there? You're telling yourself a lie right now that you're not there. Because when is that going to happen? When does that goal metaphorically, mentally drive up your driveway? What time will it be? Now. And that is the biggest secret of all. Everything happens now. And the only delay to your success is moving from this now into that now, right now. Become aware. That's the story. Thank Thanks, YouTube. Have a great morning. I'm Sean Murphy. I'll see you where? At the next event. Morning, Misfits. Anything pop up for you? Anything change in your awareness?
Good morning.
Good morning, Christina Zaharia.
It's just that reminder. I was just listening to Jim Rohn in my carmobile. Um, how he said, "Let it happen in your mind first." And I still remember how he said, "Well, my friend just leaned on my fireplace." And listening to your Nightingale as well, saying that act as if it's already there, but it's so easy to say and so hard to do.
Well, it is because because we have to. The hard part, if in your quiet time, ask who told me that that's the truth? That was a truth that was given to you. That was a truth that we were, oh, okay, so I can have an excuse. This is called mental toughness. Easy to do, but easy to think, but hard to do. It's not hard to do. Because if you can do the opposite, you can do the opposite, right? If it's easy to do, okay, so how is it easy to do and but hard to do? It's simple. It gives up, we have to, and the reason that it's so difficult is we have to give up the old identity. If we gave up our old identity, the question then becomes, who am I? And that's the reason that all of this is difficult, is because we have an identity and we don't want to embarrass people, right? The biggest reason, the biggest thing, if you really dive into the psychology of success, the biggest reason most people never make more money than their parents or incrementally increase is because they don't want to embarrass their parents. Now, our parents want the best for us. We want the best for our kids. But because we've wired shame into them, because shame was taught to us, poverty was taught to us, we have literally taught it to our kids. It sucks as a parent to think that. And then when we go to say it, oh my gosh, it's 100 times worse. But it's the reality. It is really the reality. If they see us struggle, then they figure, well, I want to be just like my dad. Well, my dad struggled. My dad was brilliant. He did amazing things, created incredible ways to create income. But we lost the farm, right? We went bankrupt. I don't even know if we got to go bankrupt. But anyway, so these stories, these things get wired into us. So how do we shift that? We have to become aware. We have to do the work for us on us. It's the most difficult work you'll ever do. Until we change the way we look at things, the things we look at won't change. They're all simple, great sayings because they're simple. And the simple part is that who am I when I become this? Right?
Yeah, and it's so true that many times I'm forcing myself not to say to my kids we can afford this, but they do see the struggle. I'm thinking like I'm running out of years to just, get to the point where there isn't the struggle.
So in the quiet time between now and the next time you get asked for something that's out of budget, what would be the vibration of being able to say that's within the budget? That, for those who have, they will be given more, and those that don't, even what they do have will be taken from them. I think it's out of Mark, right? That's from the book The Magic, and Rhonda Bryan says that, and then they put the word gratitude in there. For those that have gratitude, they will be given more. For those that don't have gratitude, even what they do have will be taken from them. Now, the word gratitude was an installed word, but the biblical text, I think I'm pretty close. For those that have, they will be given more. Those that do not have, even what they do have will be taken from them. This is our entire life. What is it that you want? Step into that state. It takes a little bit of chiseling. It takes a lot of undoing, which is why I'm constantly chipping away to see what is the thing I'm missing as a trainer, as an instructor. What are the things that I've worked on that seem natural, that seems ordinary? And shame was a big one. I was grilled in shame. I was broiled in shame. I was built in shame. I didn't know it was shame then. We just used the term alcoholic mother or Russian mom, or that's mommy, right? I was built in shame. I was crafted in the shame factory. So how did I overcome this? Well, I never talked about it because it was, you don't talk about shame. You don't talk about being verbally abused by your parents. And it's not in a a fighting way. It's not in an abusive way. Just verbally abused. You're an idiot. That's every parent says that. I think. Shouldn't.
Haven't said it.
Right? But my point is that all of this to say is that we were built the way we are, and now we want to undo that. I was taught honor and respect. You don't undo, you don't give back the gift that was given to you. Well, this isn't a gift. Yeah, but it's still. And so we come up with all of these stories, all of these excuses why we are the way we are, because the way we are is not the way we want to be. Very basic, very logical. And the way we want to be is different than the way we are. Well, then I'm going to disappoint whoever made me. And sometimes we've made ourselves. A lot of times it's been influential. The way do you act different when you go to church? Do you act different when you go to a party? The party makes you, church makes you. Do you act different when you go to your best friend's house? Your best friend makes you. Do you act different when you go to your boss's house? Your boss makes you. All of these things, right? Joe Dispenza says, what's the phrase I'm thinking of? Your personality makes up your personal reality, or your personal reality makes up your personality. And for the majority of people, 90% of the people, their outside environment makes up who they are. They're
Yep.
chameleons. So until you step up, until you become outstanding in your own way, and you bring your personality into your personal reality, and you become the creator of your environment. Some people, some definitions of that's called charisma, the people who do it well. The people who don't do it well, we call them buttheads or a-holes, but they are bringing their personality into their personal reality, and it affects all of us. There are people who, when they step into a room, you're like, oh my God. Or you're like, oh my God, they're here. So how do we become the one that brings our personality into our personal reality 100% of the time? 100% of the time. And we don't allow the outside world to change the way we see ourselves. If we are the chameleon for church and charity and helping a friend move and doing trainings, if we are different people, if we constantly keep shifting our energies to meet those environments, we have an addiction to shame. We say it nicely, addiction to approval. It's really addicted to shame. And social
Ouch.
media is making that as we're the most connected and isolated people on the planet. I got 300,000 followers. Great. Who do you want to go to lunch with? Well, nobody wants to go to lunch with me. Wait, what? I'm sorry. I'm confused. So it takes a huge, and here's the thing about it. I'll give you a little insight. When the shift happens, when the rewire happens, when the flow changes from personal reality makes up my personality to my personality makes up my personal reality, that shift, when the energy flows from out in to in out, it never goes back. It is such a powerful shift. Now, it may not be full on. It may not be volume 100 the second that you don't turn into, I'm trying to think of who would be that's just so out there over the edge. When that shift happens, when the polarity changes from out to in, from in to out, life will never be the same. We think it's there. It you will know when it's there. And when that shift happens, it's no longer you say, well, I don't give a damn about them. You give a damn about everybody, but in a way to be of value, not of service. That is the secret. How do I bring value and not to be the servant? You can serve in value. You can also show up in value and not be their slave. An addiction to shame or addiction to approval is a slave. Oh, I have to go there. I have to be in this state. I've got to be in this frame of mind.
It's fascinating what you just said because I'm on my way to work, and that's exactly how I feel. And I feel frustrated because I still don't understand why I changed to the submissive slave, how you call it, right? It's just like I feel like I'm not stepping into my greatness, into who I am. I just feel like um I don't have the right word. So I'm just like
No, I get it. I
the
get it. So here's the question. And the reason I use slave is to bring some emotion to this thing, because otherwise you're just going to work. Listen, I was a slave to a job I had. You've heard the story. Every Sunday I would turn into just the biggest horse's ass. And it hit me when I heard Michelle say to Mason in the kitchen, Mason, you forgot it's Sunday. Daddy's got to get ready to leave to go away on tomorrow. So he gets like this. So the question is that who is Christina? Who's the Christina that existed prior to getting ready for work that you would love to have back now? When did you start to prepare for work? A lot of people, for me, it was the day before. It was Sunday. Load my
yeah,
car up.
and in my mind yesterday.
Yeah, so yesterday. So you prepared for work. So you started turning into the witch on wheels yesterday. And it's a version you're used to. You're like, okay, I'm getting ready for, but we turn into these witches on wheels to do the thing we don't love to do. What if all of a sudden you said, you know what? There's going to be a day that success is going to find me, and it's going to find me at work, and it's going to notice that, and it's going to know I'm the one to look for because I'm the one with balloons all over my desk, metaphorically.
Mm.
Success is looking for us. And the second we realize that it is the phrase, what you are seeking is seeking you. What you are seeking is seeking you. And the second you at a cellular level, realize that, I always use the example because I'm a guy and I have a small brain, and it comes down to things like, and these are experiences I've really had. You're in a crowded bar, you see somebody, and you're like, oh my God, that I got to talk to her. And then you turn away to get the drinks and she's gone. It's like, where the heck did she go? And then you spend all night looking. And then you do happen to find them. And then you're ego gets in the way. And of course, when your ego gets in the way, when you go up, you go, hey, and they're like, what do you want? There's the story, the shame story. It's like, ugh, you don't know that you created that. The whole time you're looking, oh, she probably doesn't want to talk to me. Oh my God, if I could just see, right. And you come up with all of these energies between the moment you see them and the moment you re-see them to whether or not it's going to be amazing or not. I'm just glad the universe didn't give up and it helped me find Michelle. It had to come through my mother, which was a reason there was some delay. So this idea of what you are seeking, it's going to find you at work. It's going to find you in traffic. It's going to find you on a billboard. It's going to find you all of these places. It's going to subtly and softly and quietly slip in to see if you're ready.
Yeah. See, as you were talking, I was just trying to analyze my body and see how do I feel, and I made the association that I felt like I felt when I was a child at home.
Mm-hmm.
Just walking on eggshells just so that I don't mess up, so that I'm a good girl, so that everybody loves me, right? So the thing for approval, the thing for
It,
approval.
right, the addiction to approval, but that was to
Yeah.
avoid shame. That wasn't even for approval. That was a defense mechanism. That was to avoid being yelled at. So you walked around. This is a survival mechanism. We talk about I want to thrive. Good luck. We have to switch out of the survive. You're just doing this to survive, to stay out of the target. When I ask people, so what is your success? What does a day in your success really look like? Well, I'll be doing trainings and I'll be doing this and I'll be leading that and I'll be having conversations. You are a target. There's no way you can become a target if you're hidden, AKA ready for the love. Every time I stepped out before, though, I walked on eggshells. As soon as I cracked an eggshell, I got in trouble. Well, you're going to make omelets because you're going to crack so many eggs. We have to change the way we look at it. I get to help other people who are on eggshells step out of the dark. Listen, I was the wallflowers of wallflowers. You couldn't, when I was 5 years old, I used to walk around going, hey, I'm Sean Murphy. My dad's Mike Murphy. How are you? What's your name? And I would introduce myself to everybody. And my mom said something to me one time. I never introduced myself again until. But boy, that 5. You went back to childhood when I was a kid at home. You're amazing, powerful content creator, beautiful woman, mom, sister, friend, leader, and your kid, this 8-year-old version, 10-year-old version of you, still worried about walking on eggshells. Tell me it's not wired in. Do you have eggs at home?
Yes.
When you go home today, crack an egg in a bowl, eat it, cook it, give it to the cat. I don't know, whatever. But then take the eggshell outside and go step on it and go, today's the day I step on eggshells.
Love that. I will.
Feel the shift
Sean, thank you
already?
so much.
Do
Yeah.
you feel the shift?
Mm-hmm.
And you're still driving the car. And now you're an eggshell breaker. I don't need, listen, I saved the egg. I did the good thing. I didn't just crack the whole egg. I didn't waste it, right? So you get to say that. But I promise you, go home and say, today's the last day I worry about eggshells. It's your eggshell. You didn't go to your neighbor's house, steal their egg, and step on their egg. You're not going to go step on other people's eggshells. You're just going to make sure yours no longer keep you from moving forward.
Love that. Thank you, Sean.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with you. I remember when I went to Europe, I don't remember which country it was. But to go over there is called takeaway. And when you had lines to go pick up stuff, and it was takeaway orders. I never got in line because I didn't know what a takeaway order was. I didn't know it was to go with you. I didn't know it was to go. We say to go over here. They go take with you, which makes more sense. That's why I say anything to take away or take with you. All righty. Listen, pay attention to this, because this is the core of the crux of everything. This is the if you were to take the pyramids, say the Giza pyramid, and turn it on its point, everything that was at the bottom is now at the top, and the pyramid is sitting on its point. There is a point at which all things that happen in our life are built. We keep trying to slug our way through the bottom of everything that's a result of the one thing. Think about that. We keep slugging through the bottom. Well, I got to get to the top. If you turn it over and you make the top the starting point, that point that's the most pressure, that's the most uncomfortable, that's the only focus you can be at. From that place, from that moment, everything changes. Hey, AJ.
Hey, good morning. Just a quick one.
Yep.
I was gonna take a day off today from work and so on to do some deep work,
You do your
right?
lemon juice?
Yeah, I
Very
did,
good. Okay,
and
good.
it was good. It was a good deal this morning.
Good. So you
Anyhow,
get the day off.
yes, I'm gonna take a day off work. They don't got a lot of traffic coming in regarding leads anyway, so I'm like, I'm not even gonna show up. I'm gonna do some deep work on me instead. And what I wanted to ask you was, obviously, without stepping over the line or whatever, but could you point out how do I phrase this? Okay,
Me
so you
stepping over
said
the line? How do I do?
no, no. So I don't want you to step over Michelle's line because this
Oh,
question is regarding Michelle.
okay.
You told me that she's a powerful manifester, right?
Yes.
And
Yep.
I'm just wondering how does she format her things when she writes them down? Does she just use "so happy and grateful now" and then she starts writing, or is it some kind of secret sauce to it?
No, so there's 3 points to her manifestation. She sets the goal, writes out the because, and then lets it go.
Oh, so she says, "I want to blah 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 because,"
Because
and so
what are you
okay.
going to do with it? To have $1 million isn't a goal. That's not a goal. It's to have the things the $1 million gets you. What are the things that you want? What is it going to turn into? The universe needs to. I can go to my bank. I could be a millionaire, but it's not a millionaire if I never spend a penny of it.
Yeah.
I can be worth something. Listen, how much are you worth?
Me personally?
Yeah, how much you not in the bank account. What do you think you're worth? If you had to
Oh,
place
oh,
a
not with
value, yeah, yeah. See the difference? If you had to place a
yeah.
value on you,
I was gonna throw figures.
yeah, well, you could.
Okay.
$1 million, $1 billion. How much are you worth? How much was your surgery? Somebody thought you were worth at least that. That's how much your life is worth. That's how much they thought your life is worth.
Yeah, it was 6 millimeters worth.
Yeah. So six
That's
millimeters worth, but there was an expense, right? This and the hospital and the blah, 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 and then all of this stuff. So there's a value to that. But the real question is how much are you worth? If you were to accumulate all of your income from start to now, and then what's the exponential from now until then, what are you worth? And you realize you give that up every moment you go, ah, shit. You just went to zero in worth. When you have a negative thought, you go to zero in worth because you are worthless. I'm so worthless. Exactly. You went from a multi-billion-dollar empire to zero in the blink of a thought. And you know what the problem is you got to build it back up. You got to build up the energy. You got to build up the frequency. You got to build up the $1 billion. That's why once you get to the mountaintop, why would you ever leave? We slide down the mountain. We go, oh, look at that. I was up there once. I felt good once. I was happy once. The hell are you doing down here? So how does Michelle manifest? She says it, tells it, and then lets it go. Because she knows she has no way, she can't even begin to imagine how the universe wants to bring it.
Yeah, I was wondering to ask you that because I was like, so if I write it down in the form of I want blah blah blah,
No,
it
not want.
means
No, yeah, exactly.
yeah, I'm grateful to have it. Yeah, okay, I see
So
what you're
now,
saying.
so you have to write it down in the present tense.
Yep, yes, sir.
And
Okay.
then here's the thing, that statement doesn't make you who you are. It's the vibration of the writing that makes you who you are. So it's never the words, it's the vibration of the words. It's the intention as you are putting, as the energy is, as the electrons are flowing down to your arm to write that on the piece of paper. The way it'll manifest from the piece of paper into the universe is the vibration that which it shows up on the. Imagine you're writing a musical script and the universe has to play that statement. Blah, 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 is how most people's statements would be played, because that's the frequency behind them. I was told I need to write down affirmations. I am so happy and grateful now that I am rich. Blah, 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 blah. As opposed to writing a concert. You've had moments where you get so excited you can't stop writing. That's a concert. How many instruments in your orchestra?
Like to be a lot.
Okay, so think about it. Do you have relationships in your orchestra?
Yep.
What are the names of 5 people that are a relationship to you? Just say 5 names.
It's gonna be my brother, mom, dad, my
Okay, I
brother's
didn't say
kids.
titles. I said names. Listen to the question. What are 5 names of people? Jackass.
You think you're being smart here? Good luck for you.
I'm
You're
2,000
4,000
miles,
miles
5,000 miles
away.
away. Give me
Something
five.
like 4 or 5,000
Five
miles away.
names. Give me 5.
Okay, so it's gonna be Uroš Dan, Daniela, Vulcan Petar. Yeah, but there you go.
Okay.
That's 5.
So what instrument do you want them to play in your orchestra?
Oh, okay. What's gonna be their
What's the vibration they bring to it? Because wait a second, it's gonna get it's gonna. I'm glad you got headsets on because your top of your head is about to blow off. So now you've got 5 people who are in your orchestra. They all play different instruments, right? Petra, Danielle plays different than Petra, than Uri Bashkish, right? They all play a different instrument. They play them,
yeah.
right? Watch this.
Yeah.
When you write your goals out, make sure you write the music that they're supposed to play. When Mozart wrote his concerts, he had to write it for violin, for oboe, for the harpsichord. They're different notes. They play different notes that all play in the concert, that all play in the orchestral piece. He wrote orchestras for 47 pieces, for 65 pieces. We write this thing, y'all blowing your head, y'all figuring this out. Y'all, I hope some of you are hearing this. When we write down our goal, we write it down for one piece. You are not a solo in your goals. You are a conductor of an orchestra. When you write your goals down, how many additional pieces of music do you have to write it for? Those are called relationships. Those are called your environment. So how do you write the goals to show up at the restaurant? When you're going to go do this deep work, you're going to maybe walk out to the lake, or maybe you'll sit there at that table. How do you write the goals to walk out at the lake? When you write down your goals, your deep work, the deep work is you've got to get to the base of all of the instruments you're about to go play that you're going to have in concert in your life. How do your goals that you're about to go write keep your operating of the BMW in tip-top shape? Wait, what? That's why we struggle. I have to write goals for 6 new sheep. I have to
actually
Go ahead.
I'm pretty ecstatic because I understand what you're talking about.
Does that make sense, right?
Yes, this makes a lot of sense, especially because of the advice that you gave me, which was to go, not to kind of. I thought about this the other night, and it's actually a great thinking session, right? Because I have those now. I have thinking sessions. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Anyhow, I went and thought about it. Thought about my life through each pillar, right? Now I know that the prism that I'm kind of looking at my life through with each pillar, each of the pillars has its own secret sauce to my life, but it's a lot easier for me to see it that way, just as you pointed out to me a couple weeks ago, versus to think about life in general. Because if I think about it myself, or if I ask somebody, hey, what do you want your life to be? We know that most people are going to go through finances immediately and say, I want $1 million, right? But just as you said, that doesn't make any sense because they don't have the becauses, they don't have the rest of the orchestra playing,
Well,
right?
yeah, think about it.
So
We let them off the hook with that. So yeah, so go
yeah,
ahead. Yeah.
yeah. So when you told me a couple weeks ago to look at my life and um, clarify and qualify and set expectations for each pillar individually, you'll see how they're all going to work together. And as I was doing that, as I was kind of scraping the surface ice off of it, I realized that it's actually true because right now I'm focusing on smaller things at a time, and unknowingly they're actually working together because right now you don't miss out on details. If you say to someone, "What do you want your life to be like?" they're immediately going to go to money. And then if you say, "But why?" or if you ask them, "Okay, well, give me something else," they're maybe going to go to traveling or whatnot, right? Still not even, I mean, not even the snowflake on the tip of the iceberg, let alone the ice, right? And as I was doing this, I was kind of, thinking about my pillars and so on and so forth. And this shame training really brought me up to speed on some things to understand even those becauses that I wrote down. Why did I write them down? Why did I do that? And it was real exciting to actually sit there and behold the paper in front of me. So I want to thank you for that. I'm really gonna go over that again today from a lot deeper perspective, and I'm gonna see what nuggets are hidden
So
there.
here,
So thank you,
so
thank you,
here, here's the next level. Ready for the next level?
sir.
When you become amazed, oh my gosh, that's pretty cool. When you become amazed, when you have the aha, where was the version of you that had the aha? Where was it hiding? Why did it take that to bring out the, oh my gosh, that's pretty cool? Where was that version of you? Where was it? How did thought bring that version of you about? And if
It
thought
was in
brought that, what's that?
uh the answer I'm thinking of it was on a higher frequency than I was at, probably
So how many more versions of that exist?
indefinite,
So
probably.
then now the question is are you okay with catapulting, quantum leaping? And what's going to happen is that the outward expression, the outward expressiveness, when you quantum leap, goes almost to a minimum and you become the observer because you begin to start looking for those that look.
Makes sense, man. Especially because so there's this guy I met in the States,
Yeah.
and he wrote down in my journal that my journal holds $1 million ideas. It was some whack guy from Arkansas.
He he
I
picked
don't
up
think
your journal and stole it.
I don't think you would know him. I don't think you met the guy, but he's great.
Now imagine if every page held $1 million idea.
Probably does, man.
It
That's
does,
the
absolutely does.
probably does.
And that's the elevation of vibration. That's what people call charisma. There's just something about you. Yeah, it's called focused. It's called my reality makes up my personal reality. who I am influences everyone around me. You step into my world, you are stepping into my world. I am unfazed by your chaos. Because we pick up on people, we pick up on their energy, we pick up on their frequency. You can tell whether somebody's happy or mad, like, ooh, what's up with you? But the challenge is when we see somebody that's mad or sad or happy or excited, we let that influence us. Oh my gosh, they're happy. Oh my gosh, they're sad. Oh my gosh, they're happy. Oh my gosh, they're sad. Wow, what's the lesson I'm here to teach? What's the lesson I'm here to learn? I'm either teaching or learning. And usually it's a lot of learning about human nature. When I identify somebody in a particular state, I listen to the words they use because we do a lot of stuff without being able to see people. So I listen to the words they use. I listen to the tone they speak in. I can see their body. I can see their energy. I can now hear that body and I can now hear that energy. And that allows you an insight into individuals. You can actually, when you start to talk to people over the phone without seeing their body, you start to instantly create an image of it. One of the greatest examples of this, I was with Mason and we were going through Chick-fil-A, and this girl ordered, the girl who was taking our order, you know, and there was a car ahead of us, so it wasn't that long. We placed our order. I said to Mason, I said, she's going to be this, 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 and this. And she's going to have tattoos. She's probably going to have a lip ring. She's probably going to have some wacky colored hair. And we pull up to the thing. And Mason's like, oh my God. He goes, you've been here before. I go, I only come when I pick you up from school. He's like, you are, it was to a T. That's the power of somebody's voice. It will tell you exactly. And here's the thing, your voice, your energy, your orchestra is always telling people how to play in your orchestra. If you heard Christina earlier, walking on eggshells, everybody we talk to, we are teaching them to walk on eggshells. Imagine remember when you were in the house sneaking around with your brother or your cousins or whatever, and you're like, don't just, no, mommy's gonna hear us, daddy's gonna, don't, no, stop. They mimicked exactly what you were because you were trying to both hide and do this. So anytime you walk up to somebody, anytime you speak to somebody, that's the frequency. You're saying, hey, listen, my orchestra plays this crappy music. You want to join me? When you walk into the restaurant and Petra and his sister see you, they play your music, don't they? Yeah. They didn't used to play your music.
But actually they're bragging on me now, and whenever
they're now really playing your music.
Oh yeah, baby, because right now if there's a new person on staff or just the person that's kind of close to them and comes on, they always be like, here we go, here's our place, welcome, whatever. And then that guy, and then they start this whole, this whole story that they have set on. He does some, we don't really know what he does. He speaks in a language we don't understand. Speak of someone over the computer, probably, maybe he's crazy, maybe he's not, but he's a good guy. And I'm like, hey there. Like, yeah, I'm the guy. So that's really interesting, actually.
But see, they play your music. Other people come in, they play their music, and they say, here's the rules of this restaurant. You come in, there are no rules.
Maybe that's because I also play their music. I mean, if anybody asks me what I do,
hang on. You allow them to play their best version of their instrument. Different. Everybody is an instrument. If I let AJ play his music well, he loves showing up in my concert. You'll get solos. You'll be part of the main orchestra. When is there a moment that you ask somebody to give their solo? So you give the brother and the sister a chance to play their solos. That guy over there, they're playing their solo in your orchestra.
Wow. It's maybe I wanted to say this. Maybe it's because I also let them play their solos. Because if somebody asks me, "Hey, where do you spend your time?" or "Where do you work from?" or whatever, I'm gonna say, "Well, there's this place and there's these two people," and on and on and on, right? So I'm gonna be blowing their horn as well a lot and often to my friends, and I mean you guys know, but never seen the place,
Right.
and you know everything. I mean, you know a couple details about them, right? And they know a couple details about you because I told them the story about Little Rock and the
Right.
power and the ranch, and I
We
drove
call in English we call the term bragging.
yeah, I
and
brag about them.
and you brag about them. You play their song. You play their score. Oh, there's this music called this restaurant called blah 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 blah, and you start playing from that music sheet. It's called bragging. And if you play my music, can't I hear my music pretty much anywhere in the world? I was just thinking of you. I was just thinking of you. You were playing my music. I heard you. That's why I call. It's all about frequency. It's all about vibration.
I'll leave you with this.
Okay.
You know what's the name of the
God.
place in English? Thank God this guy is on this guy is on a this guy's on a tour, man. I'll leave you with this though. That just came out. I'll leave you with this. You know what's the place called in English?
No what?
The Big Heart.
No.
Yeah, no kidding, man. It's called. I mean, in English, it's gonna be the Big Heart. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's not a coincidence.
put that in your pipe and smoke it, Skippy. Okay. Anyway, thank you for today's conversation. This was insightful. Thank you.
Yes. Good. And here's the challenge. I say the challenge. Other people have heard it and go, I don't know what that was. This is what Kyle Wilson has said to me, and it's one of the greatest compliments that I've ever received is that listen, I can speak shop with you. Right? I can talk music with you. He loves playing a guitar. I could play some strums, but we can't talk guitar. We can't talk music. But on this, he said we can talk shop. And that I love. So we're talking shop. That's all. Love you, brother. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Another day, another amazing $1 million. I hope today finds you with this gift called your present that you get to unwrap. I'm your head brain training. Take the bow off and open the gift, Misfit. I'll see y'all where?
The next event.
I love it, love it, love it. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydia.
Peace be with
Peace be with
us.
us all. And the queen of helping you find your joy, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss
Lee,
Lee.
baby.
Lee, we love you, girl. And the little white fluffy.
Gurgly, gurgly, gurgly.
Gurgly.
Gurgly. Could you imagine? Just jumped on this call and you heard that. What the hell was that? So, there you go. Love you tons. Bye for now. See you tomorrow.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Peace.
Yeah.